After being introduced to the Premier League at the start of the 2019-20 season, VAR, or Video Assistant Referee, has been under the microscope from fans, pundits, managers and players alike. The controversial nature behind introducing this technology to the beautiful game spans all the way back to the 2012-13 season, where the Eredivisie played host to mock trials of the system throughout the campaign. The first test of the VAR system with a live connection took place during a friendly between Italy and Spain on the 1st of September 2016. The reason for such delay to bring VAR to the rest of Europe was due to insufficient internet access being available within stadiums at the time. Therefore, it was not introduced in Italy, America and Germany until 2017 with mixed reception. VAR was then utilised in Spain and France the following year, along with its use at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. While VAR may be a familiar term today, where it came from is less so. Created as part of the Refereeing 2.0 project established by the KNVB, also known as the Royal Netherlands Football Association. This project was started in the early 2010s with a view to raise the quality of refereeing, as well as to increase the level of acceptance towards refereeing decisions. The ambition of this, to contribute to the flow and fairness of the game as a whole. While this project continues, ongoing research into the level in which technology can support referees in their decision-making process is being carried out both domestically in the Netherlands and across the globe. The Refereeing 2.0 project did not only include VAR, but also 5th and 6th officials and Hawkeye technology, better known as goal line technology, which is commonplace in a majority of top-flight leagues today. In 2012, FIFA agreed to the use of goal line technology in all national competitions, a vote which may have been influenced by the decision not to award England a vital goal against Germany in the 2010 World Cup, when Frank Lampard struck the ball in off the crossbar in the 37th minute, only for the ball to bounce across the line and back out for Manuel Neuer to catch, and for the game to continue. Hawkeye has been an unrivaled success, barring a slip-up in the Premier League, in a match featuring Aston Villa and Sheffield United, where the technology was simply not turned on prior to kickoff. This resulted in a goal not being given for the away side, when the entire ball appeared to be carried over the line by Aston Villa's goalkeeper Orjan Nyland. So if Hawkeye technology has been an unrivaled success in football, why hasn't VAR? For the English game, VAR was initially trialled in the FA Cup third round in the 2017-18 season. A statement from Andy Ambler, Director of Professional Game Relations at the FA, stated, "The trialling of the VAR system in this season's Emirates FA Cup from the third round is a demonstration that while being the most famous and historic domestic cup competition in the world, it is also a modern, progressive and innovative one." The most talked about fixture of this trial was an encounter between Liverpool and West Brom. Its first use in the game was to disallow a Craig Dawson goal in the 19th minute due to Gareth Barry being offside and interfering with the goalkeeper. This would only set the bar for what was to come, as it was then used to give Liverpool a penalty in the 24th minute after a foul on Mohamed Salah. VAR was then used again to check for offside in the third goal of the night in the 47th minute, as Matip inadvertently poked home a Craig Dawson cross into his own net. Throughout the second half, minimal intervention was necessary, as West Brom saw out a memorable win at Anfield. The fallout from this match included numerous articles calling VAR controversial as a result of the confusing and obscure nature in which it was used on the night. The main issue fans, journalists and sporting professionals had and continue to have with VAR is the lack of transparency provided by the officials making the decisions behind the screen. All fans know is that there is a hub at Stockley Park where selected referees can simply press a button to change the flow of a game based on their own judgment. These decisions surround the four match-changing incidents in which VAR can be brought into play on a match day: goals, penalty decisions, direct red card incidents, and mistaken identity when a clear and obvious error has been made. When VAR was introduced to the 20 Premier League clubs in the 1920 season, giant screens were built within stadiums across the country for everyone present to understand what was being checked, to provide a much-needed transparency between Stockley Park and the crowd. This decision was made due to the large amount of negative feedback aimed at the implementation of VAR and the officials behind it. Despite the efforts to get fans on side with the idea of this form of technology in football, there have been an abundance of incidents in which VAR assisted the decisions of a referee in a way which caused the one thing VAR was brought in to avoid: controversy. In a match between Manchester United and Aston Villa at the end of the 2021 season, Manchester United were given a penalty for an apparent foul committed by Ezri Konsa. Replay showed that it was in fact Bruno Fernandes who stood on Konsa, yet the penalty was still awarded by John Moss, who retired from top-flight refereeing following the current campaign. This decision came before a further 2 goals scored by Manchester United, resulting in a 3-0 victory over the Villains. The most important aspect of this was that following the incident, BBC's Match of the Day contacted the VAR hub for a comment, in which Stockley Park told them that the wrong decision had been made. This isn't the only instance in where an apology has been made on behalf of VAR, as more recently, in a fixture between Everton and Manchester City, one incident late on became a media storm following Paul Tierney and VAR's decision to not award Everton a penalty following a blatant Rodri handball in the Manchester City penalty area. At the time, both clubs were desperate for points, as Manchester City were fighting to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League and Everton were fighting to stay in it. As a result of this decision, the former PGMOL head of referees Mike Riley issued an apology to Frank Lampard and Everton following Lampard's comments where he stated, "We've lost a point because of a professional who cannot do his job right." Penalty calls aren't the only areas where VAR has been under scrutiny, as offsides have also provided challenges that VAR has failed to overcome. Crystal Palace hosted Leeds United in match week 8 of the 2020-21 season. With the scoreline at 1-0, Patrick Bamford found himself on the end of a click-through ball before delicately chipping the ball over Guaita to level the game. It wasn't to be, however, as Bamford was found to be offside by a forearm. Following this decision, Crystal Palace went on to score again 4 minutes later and eventually won the match 4-1. Despite all of the controversial moments, VAR does still provide correct decisions in crucial moments. At the start of the 2021-22 season, Liverpool faced Chelsea at Anfield, which resulted in a 1-1 draw. One of the key talking points from the match was when Reece James blocked a goal-bound shot with his arm while stood on the goal line. When directed to go to the referee review area, Anthony Taylor pointed to the spot and produced a red card for Reece James. Without VAR, the game would have continued and the correct decision would not have been made. Moving into the 21-22 season, the use of VAR improved significantly. This was due to new rules being adapted for handballs, thicker offside lines being introduced, and greater insistence on referees going to look at the incident again in the referee review area. While the technology may not be the most polished version possible, it has developed greatly since its introduction in the 2019-20 season, ensuring that much needed transparency for the fans, players, and other professionals alike. So is VAR working in the Premier League? Yes, it is, but the refereeing quality is what's holding it back from being as useful as it can be for what is widely considered the best league in the world. Further training for all referees in the Premier League would not only benefit the decision-making process taken by VAR officials, as well as leading to greater acceptance of refereeing decisions, accomplishing the mission the KNVB set out to achieve in 2012. How do you think the use of VAR can be improved in the Premier League and international competitions? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like the video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more sports content coming your way very, very soon.